Stop apologizing for needing rest, for wanting to create more joy in your life, or wanting to create some space. You can still love your kids and love yourself. No, we don't live for our kids, okay? We live for ourselves, and that makes us the best version of ourselves, which allows us to be the best mom. Hey, beautiful. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Divorce Revolution. I'm your host, Amber Shaw, and thanks for being with me today. So you guys, I want to talk about something that all moms feel, but rarely say out loud. And I'm talking about mom guilt. Okay. Mom guilt. You guys know what I'm talking about. That pressure to be everything for everyone all the time. You know, that fear that, maybe doing something for yourself makes you selfish. And I got to tell you, as a divorced mom, I think we all know that mom guilt can hit even harder. You're already juggling so much that when you do actually take a break or miss that baseball game or do something that's just for you or whatever that looks like, the guilt creeps in. So today, I really want to give you permission to say, fuck that. That's right, ladies. I said it. I said, fuck that. Fuck that mom guilt, you guys, because honestly, it is not helpful. It is not helpful. It is not productive. And you deserve more than just doing laundry, single mom in it, carpooling it, Ubering your kids to and from, packing lunches, all of the damn things. And so today in this episode, we are going to talk a little bit about why mom guilt runs so deep, especially post-divorce. I want to talk about what kids actually need from you and how to redefine what a good mom is on your terms, and really some simple ways to start living for yourself again without the guilt. So let's talk a little bit about why mom guilt runs so deep. Well, first of all, freaking because it's everywhere. Okay. I think the messaging that we receive all the time, even like on a subconscious level, is that being a good mom means basically being selfless. And you know that this is true because, I think that unfortunately, like being this selfless mom, like I do everything for my kids and it's almost become like this badge of honor. And it's such bullshit. I am here to break that. Okay. Because I do think even with being divorced, I think that the mom guilt, if you're not aware of it and you don't get a grip on it, it can like double because maybe you feel like you have to make up for the divorce, right? For the separation. Maybe you overcompensate to protect your kids from pain, right? Maybe you're so worried about your kids' emotional well-being that you're overcompensating. Maybe you have a deadbeat ex and you're constantly trying to like overcompensate for their behavior, right? You can convince yourself that I think taking care of yourself really means like neglecting them. And it's simply not true because you can still love your kids and love yourself. In fact, as we know, like when you love yourself, it makes you a better mom. But you can also still love your kids and need space, right? That's okay. You can even still want more for your life and still be a good mom. So let's talk then about what then do your kids actually need? Let's talk about what do your kids actually need? Let's be clear on one thing, okay? Your kids, they don't need a martyr. They don't need a martyr. They don't need somebody who is like constantly walking across the coals, throwing themselves in the fire, doing all the things, not getting sleep, self-sacrificing, never going out on that date because they don't want to miss time with their kids, never taking time to themselves because they're worried that their kids are going to miss something. Your kids don't need that. Their kids need a mom who is emotionally whole. Your kids need a mom who is fulfilled. Your kids need a mom who's present and is not burned out. Your kids also need a role model of what healthy boundaries, including self-care, like what that looks like. That's what your kids need. So your kids do not benefit by watching you give up everything. Because you know what they learn? You know what they learn when you're constantly self-sacrificing and you are constantly giving up everything for you and they see that and kids see this. Do you know what they learn, especially your girls, our girls, you know what they learn? That being a mom means losing yourself. That's what they learn. That once you become a mom, your life goes to shit. Nothing that you want, your dreams, what you want, none of that matters. That's what being a mom means. And that's not what being a mom means. I think we all know on a conscious level, like what we really want to teach our kids are balance, right? Like boundaries, joy, And the only way that we can show our kids that is to live it, is to model it. It's the only way. So let's start then to redefine what does being a good mom is. Okay, what does that really look like? Well, as we know, being a good mom is not about being perfect. It's not about doing it all. It's not about perfection. Okay, it's about being real. That is what being a mom is. So, and being a good mom is being real. And also it's about communicating to your kids, being real and communicating to your kids, like when you are having a hard time and what that looks like. So a good mom really knows when to rest, right? When to take a freaking beat and when to tell their kids, hey, mom's tired. I need to just take a beat here. I'm going to go up and take a nap. Okay. I think a good mom also knows how to ask for help. For years, I was the martyr. For years, it was, I do everything for everyone. Nobody's honoring me. Nobody's taking care of me. I lived in that space until I finally said, fuck that. Like, number one, I'm going to ask for help. Number two, I need to take care of myself before anyone's going to take care of me, right? So a good mom really knows when to ask for help. And also a good mom, I think, really knows how to honor her truth and really live her truth and model that so her kids can do it too. I think like a big misconception as moms, we sometimes think that like our kids deserve 24/7 access to us. And that's bullshit. Okay. Like what our kids deserve is honesty. They deserve love. They deserve connection. Most importantly, what they deserve is our best self. Okay. And not crumbs and not scraps of what's left over when we've given everything to everyone. Our kids deserve the very best version of ourselves. And you cannot get to that place unless you are taking care of yourself, unless you are living for you. Okay. I think a lot of times moms think we have to live for our kids. No, we don't live for our kids. Okay. We live for ourselves, and that makes us the best version of ourselves, which allows us to be the best mom that we can be. Just a few ways that you can really break this guilt cycle and really start reclaiming your life. Number one, I think that it is so freaking important to carve out time for yourself. I've talked about this on this show time and time again about how like the one daily practice that really changed everything for me is when I started getting up early in the morning when my kids were still asleep and started like having my quiet time. When I first started with it, it was 15 minutes. And then eventually I worked my way up because I love it so much. It's what keeps me grounded in the morning. It's what really like sets me up for just having a positive outlook for the day. But I eventually worked up to an hour. One of the things that I always remember is I heard somebody say once that happy people aren't grateful. Grateful people are happy. And that really, really stuck with me. And so for me, part of my like daily routine of really carving out time for myself so that I can be the best mom, the best human being, that I want to be is by starting with daily gratitude in the mornings. And it's a ritual. I get up, I make my coffee, I sit with my journal, the house is quiet. And there's something so magical about sitting and just in a totally silent house and just looking around and being grateful for everything, for being grateful for the breath that you breathe, for being grateful for your sleeping kids, for, my dog is sitting next to me, all of that, just taking a minute to be so damn grateful. It really does set my day up so differently. So, I think one really important way to start reclaiming your life again is to start creating some space for yourself. Like I said, I highly recommend, even if it's just 15 minutes a day, start with that. I also think that you can carve out, I really do think that everybody should have 30 minutes even a day carved out for themselves just for some movement. I don't give a shit if you're just walking around the block. Everybody should have at least 30 minutes a day where either you go work out, you go in your basement and work out, or you go for a walk or whatever that looks like. But getting some movement in absolutely is so, so important. I think a way to just start really, really, really reconnecting with you and what you want is maybe say yes to something that you've been putting off. Maybe it is taking that solo trip. Maybe it's just a girls' night. Maybe you've got a friend that's been trying to get you in that book club. You keep telling them you don't have time. Or maybe it's just to go out to dinner, right? Or maybe you've been really wanting to do a solo trip. Or Maybe you've got that coaching business you've been wanting to start and you keep telling yourself that you don't have time for that. You guys are new for me. What I do for my coaching business is I help women start and grow coaching business. So if you're new to this show and you hear me referencing that sometimes, you might be like, where is that coming? That's why, because I'm a coach who helps women start and grow their own online coaching business. So whatever, that is a shameless plug, you guys, but I'm here for. Whatever you guys that looks like, as far as whatever you've been saying no to, say yes. Just say yes to something. Okay. The other thing that's really, really important is stop apologizing for your needs. Stop apologizing for needing rest, for wanting to create more joy in your life or wanting to create some space, right? Stop apologizing for it. You need it and you deserve it. Okay. I mean, I can remember, gosh, for so long, I was just like, oh, I can't take a nap. I can't take a nap. Like I got so much to do. There's laundry to do. Now, no, laundry can wait. Laundry can wait. Mom's going up and my kids know. My kids know, hey, mom's going up to take a nap. Okay. Mom is going up on the weekends. A weekend nap is my jam. And I don't care if there's dishes in the sink. I don't care if I've got laundry to fold. I don't care. I'm going up and I'm taking at least like a 30-minute to sometimes I even take a 2-hour nap, y'all. Yep, that's right. I do it. So just stop apologizing for your needs. Get really, really clear on what that is and don't apologize with it. The other thing that I think is important is really building your tribe. Really surround yourself with women who really, really get it. And because I want you to know, you're not the only one that's navigating this. Okay. So if that means just, again, reconnecting with some friend groups, or maybe there's a church group, or maybe there's just like a Facebook group you want to join, or whatever that looks like really, really surround yourself with women who get it. Because the truth is the more that you honor yourself, the more that you really start to tap in what you really want, what you really need, and the better you get at being able to claim that without the guilt and just live in your truth and own it, the easier things will get. And the better you will feel, and the better mom you will become. So you guys, as we close out, I just want you to remember, listen, you don't have to prove your love to your kids by losing yourself. I'm going to say it again. You don't have to prove your love to your kids by losing yourself. You are already a good mom. Okay. You're already a good mom, even when you're resting, even when you are dreaming, even when you're out grabbing that drink with your friends, even when you are off duty, you are still a good mom. And I want you to know that. And taking care of yourself is not just a luxury. It's not a luxury actually at all. It is a necessity. And if your goal is to be the best mom that you can be out, and in addition to being the best woman that you can be, because remember, our identity is not just being a mom, but if one of your goals is to be the best mom that you can be, it starts by being the best version of you. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll catch you on the next one.